Hello and welcome back to the Finish Line, proudly sponsored by Hollywood Bets. Gentlemen, how art thou?
Good.
Dino Dave, how art thou?
Good.
Thomas, how art thou?
I'm very good. Very good. We'll wait until see if we've got any eagle-eyed viewers this week in the comments, if they can notice anything's different. No hair jokes, thank you very much, though.
Exactly, no hair. Anyway, Betfair Chase weekend, Ascot Hurdle weekend, which is what we're here to talk about. But before we get into that, tomorrow morning, around say 10ish, there will be a competition up on our Twitter page where you will be in with a chance to win one of two €50 free bets for the Christmas period. You will find out what you have to do and how you have to do it tomorrow morning. So Finish Line, Twitter, 10 o'clock tomorrow. You'll find out everything. Big old laugh. Just let's say it involves Jerry handing a small bit. Good fun. Good fun ahead. But anyway, any news before we get on to the racing?
No news with me anyway.
Tom?
No, I'm selling a load of furniture in my house on Dundeal, and I'm quite enjoying it, actually. People come and pick it up, take it away, and they give you cash. Fantastic.
Are you Tom from the Finishing Line?
Nobody has said that yet, no. Unfortunately.
It's a pity. You would charge more than for your stuff.
Should do. Yeah, Dundeal is fun, guys. Shout out to Dundeal.
Anyway.
That's the excitement of my life, anyway. Selling furniture on a sales website.
That's what see. This is why I'm not married yet, because this is what happens when you get married. You get excited about sending stuff on Dundeal.
Yeah, it's bad. Bad state of affairs.
Anyway, we start at Haydock. Saturday, 150, the graduation chase over 2 miles, 5.5 furlongs, where you have Brave Man's Game in at 11-8 favourite, Itchy Feet 4-1, Esper de Romane at 6s, Pay the Piper 6s, Sam Brown 8s, and Navan at 14, Secret Pre 14s, and 25-1 bigger the rest. Who wants to take the first race of the week? It's an easy one to start off because I'm nice like that.
Tom can. He loves Brave
Tom can.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. Brave Man's Game, I think he's got a cracking chance here again. Obviously, he's 8-11 favourite. For me, I put him up as a chaser to follow on our anti-post preview straight after the Cheltenham Festival. Everyone's going to say, oh, no, he reminds me of Denman, but he only reminds me of Denman in his profile. I'm not saying he's as good as Denman or anything like that, but he's gone and got beaten at Cheltenham in his Grade 1 novice, again at Aintree, and then come out and put up a great display against Fusil Raffles. I know he was getting weight that day, but no weight would have turned that around, I don't think.
Fusil Raffles got one of the dodgiest rides you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, he did frank the form the next day though, so the form is pretty solid of that race. And again, here he comes in against Itchy Feet, who doesn't really win that often, does he, Itchy Feet? But he's got a lot of chase form. He's got a lot of runs and chases to his name. He's got 8 runs and chases to his name. Coming up against him. Espoir de Romane has got 5 runs and chases coming up against him. So you would imagine Paul Nicholls could have found an easier race for him. But he's obviously happy to come here, and yeah, I think it'd take the world of beating, to be honest.
I think this is an easy race for him.
Espoir de Romane is not running here. I'm pretty sure he's running at Ascot, so that takes one of the competition away, but yeah, he should win realistically.
It's
on all known. If they form, I suppose, but
if they really want him to be what they think he is, he needs to be beaten. He's beating him handy, more or less. Itchy Feet is much of a muchness. Pay the Piper. No. Sam Brown needs soft ground. Almadam, no. Secret Reprieve, probably, but he'll probably need to run. The rest of them are just start. If he doesn't win this in good fashion, you can't. You'll be stretching to see what he can do. Not what he can do. That's a bad way to put it. He'd need to be winning this with his head in his chest if he's a serious festival contender.
Yep.
Then I'll stand up and go, okay, now I get it. I'm not saying he's... as Tom said there, he reminds you of them, and to me, he doesn't really. I think people are just getting with what Paul said last year. If Paul Nichols didn't say that, I don't think any of us would be thinking this at all.
I think it's more the profile than the actual Denman comparisons. As in, he's gone and he's been a very good novice hurdler, but then he's gone and got beaten at Cheltenham, and he's come out now in first chase and looks like he's a lot better over fences, which I don't think anyone too surprised. He's better over fences.
This time last year, we could have said that about Colin Tizza's horse, not Braveman's Game, bloody
big breakaway.
Big breakaway. I look on us. He's a lot better than a big breakaway.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to be a lot better than he'd probably be one of the best English novice chasers. I just need to see it again. I need to see it properly. I think the last race is just a schooling race. And look, the same over in Ireland. Most of the first runs out are schooling race. This is where you need to put it in now. And then
that was a good schooling race though against Fusa Raffles in the big breakaway.
Fusa Raffles got the nicest ride you'll ever see in your life. He got kiddied around. He wasn't asked for anything.
Smadge, you're saying it was a nice race with the big breakaway, but when then Chantry House beat him big breakaway, it's useless then. I'd never understand that. He can't be good against Brave Man's Game because you like him, and then useless against Chantry House because you hate him.
It's fair point.
I didn't say he was good. I said there are no slouches. Like he's it's not like he's beaten a couple of 90 rated horses by a 10 lengths at Down Royal and everyone's getting excited. So he's going to beat better horses than that. So
I don't even know why we're still on this race.
Oh, fair enough. You're grumpy now because you have a toothache. Right. On to the Betfair Exchange Stairs Handicap Hurdle. We have right time, right place for one of the... I won't finish that sentence. 5-1. Riggs at 11-2. Orbs at 7-1. Bassrock at 8. Maze Runner at 9s. Flight Deck 10s. Same as Stony Mountain. And 11-1. Bigger the rest. You've won for this. You text me today. Who the hell is it?
I do. I always like to have a look at the David Pipe horses in this. And I hope he runs. It's his... second in the betting, Martinal. His last run was in the Martin Pipe at Cheltenham. David Pipe really wants to win that race and tends to plot a horse towards that. He obviously ran bad that day, but forgive him that run. He go back then through his form. Orby's Legend, the Philip Hobbs horse, is up near the top of the betting, 6-7-1, and he battered him last year. So the price differential there is it's a bit silly, I think. And he's the kind of right profile for it. David Pipe horse. He's won it with a good few horses. I know he won it with Main Fact last year, but before that, he won it with like second season novices in Chevry Chambertin and his brother Grand Cru. And I think there was another one somewhere along the way as well. So yeah, I give him a big shout at 16-1.
Tom, where are you going?
I thought this was very difficult, to be honest. The one I was gonna throw in there was the Nick Gifford horse. Did They Leave You Out too? Stayed on very well at Newbury.
Martinal has battered him as well, just so you know.
Yes, Martinal hasn't run for 246 days, though, and Tom Scudamore was is jocked up on Brinkley. That's what put me off of even looking at him too much in depth, to be honest.
That's your man's name, Fergus Gillard, is it?
Who won it last year?
Yeah, exactly.
Main Fact. Why aren't
claiming 3, Fergus Gillard, top man.
Isn't it mad though? This time last year, it was absolutely bottomless ground at Haydock. It was very strange, good ground at Haydock. Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
That's what I was coming at the angle with. Did they leave you out too? Was he does definitely go better on better ground. Ran a nice race at Newbury last day, and did so at Chepstow behind Orby's Legend, but he was staying on. That race at Chepstow was 2 mile 3.5. So I think the step up in trip will see him get a lot closer to Orby's Legend, and he's 12-1. Orby's Legend 7-1. So a really competitive race, so you could make a case for a lot of them. The Emmett Mullins horse is interesting. Now, what gets me is he's rated
every horse he has is either second favorite or favorite and gets backed off the boards half for no reason whatsoever.
The only one that wins is the shunter. Genuinely,
it's the same at the weekend. What's that thing that got backed off the boards and finished stone last?
Because he had 1 or 2 like gambles won. And you get that flat horse from Joseph O'Brien, the thing that used to run around Dundalk, and fucking useless.
Now, the thing that gets me about this, right, is he's rated 108 over hurdles in Ireland. Since he's moved to Emmett Mullins, he's had 3 runs all over fences, right? He got beat twice. He then won a Ferry House at Beginner's Chase. He won by 7 lengths, and he won very, very easily, right? The horse that finished second, Yabo, is a 6-year-old mare that's won once and is rated 102 over hurdle. Good night and God bless in a Beginner's Chase for JP. Need I say no more? And then you're going down to a girl like me is rated 93 over fences. That's Lifebuoy's rated 108 over fences. So the form is not very good, right? And all of a sudden he's got a rating in a handicap hurdle in the UK of 125. How does that happen? Have they literally taken like his chase form?
Because Mullins is known to be a shite hawk.
But if they haven't, they've taken his, unless he's going to be out in the handicap, which he's not out in the handicap. So I just don't get where they've got that mark of 125 from, because he's rated 108 over hurdles in Ireland. So
I'd say it has a lot to do with the trainer.
But like he
has a reputation of doing things like this in certain races like this.
You can't put a horse up 17 pounds out of nowhere.
Apparently,
he just did. So.
On some of his old form, he's well handicapped off 108. He's not well handicapped off 125 at all. So
well, it doesn't seem to stop backing him. So they obviously think he is well handicapped off 125.
Look, I think you said, Dave, people just latch onto that and they say, "Oh, Emmett Mullins bringing one over the same colours the shunter used to run in," and they'll go off that. But I look, he could go in Bolton. I'd take him on, but in a very competitive race.
I like this race. I've always liked this race, and I have one who I think will go very close, and he's a former winner of it. And it's Stony Mountain, back off the exact same mark he won it last time. He's not actually. I'm looking at the wrong fucking thing. But anyway, he won last time off the mark he won off before. He's back up to he's 142, which is 4 or 5 pounds higher. He beat Did You Leave You Out 2 by 3/4 of length, but he was just Dawson in front. It's the first bit of form he's shown for a good 2 years. So Nick Gifford is after getting him back to some way near his best. Jumped well, travelled well, put the race to bed a long way out, and it was just Dawson, as I said, when he hit the front. This race will suit him. He's good in big fields. He's course form. Ground's perfect. 10-1 is an okay price. I wouldn't be mad about it too much, but I think he will be hard to at least keep out the top 3. Stony Mountain. He's at the age of 8 now, so he's not going to improve that much, but I think back to form, back to a course he likes. I think he'll be playing a huge hand in this. Him and the other David Pipe runner, Brinkley. He has solid form last year. He's a good winner with Canton and Exeter. Got 12th behind Miss Milner at Cheltenham, then over 3 miles. He comes back to anywhere near his best. He will play a hand too. So they are my 2 against field. Stony Mount and Brinkley.
I'd be interested in Brinkley, especially if it got on the softer side.
Yeah, it's not looking like though, is it? Really? No rain. Anyway, moving on to the Betfair Chase. Blue Tom is 11 to 8. Bristol De Mai 15. 5 to 2. Waiting patiently 5 to 1. Next destination 11 to 2. Imperial Order 7s. Royal Pogay 9s. Chatham Street Lad 20s. Naylor River 20s. And Clondalk Castle 25 to 1. Are we still against Plutarch winning first time up, Dave?
Absolutely. You don't win first time up.
Now, I'll put an argument to you.
Come on, do it.
Right, when I get the form. So, form first time up is second, third, okay? And second.
Oh, okay. I'm struggling to see what your point is here.
So these, well, don't mind the third part, that was actually wrong. These races would not be anything like he's getting prepared for now. So he's not going to be undercooked for this per se. They're going to have him as fit as they can probably get him at home. They're not going to be bringing him over to Haydock for the good of his health. No, he's best going left-handed. Ground is going to be ideal for him. Galloping track will be ideal for him, as we see in Leopardstown. I think he's going to take some hell of a beating in this. Bristol De Mai is a huge danger. He can still go on this ground. He's won this race on this kind of ground before. I just think Plutarch has untapped potential over this kind of trip. So I'm convinced he'll win this and win it handsomely. Ball in your court. Or off the table.
Well, I'd never ever. I'll back Plutarch once this year, and it'll be in the Savills at Leopardstown at Christmas. I won't back him. I think he's a terrible price, 11 to 8.
But on his form of last year,
he got beaten by Ballyosheen 2 years ago on his first run, and Castlegrace Paddy last year on his first run. That is horrendous.
It is. But then, as I say, I put you there.
Horrendous.
They would have been prep races for the likes when he beat Shakan, when he won the Savills. This is a grade one he's going straight into.
Anyway, I really hope
doesn't listen to anyone.
I really hope Bristol De Mai wins. It's kind of his race, but I know he's won it on good ground before. But he's definitely a better horse around Haydock when it's heavy and he gets galloping and all that. I just fear there's going to be a turn up in this and it'll be an outsider win it. And it might be.
Do not say
Imperial Aura.
No, will you stop?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Imperial Aura. I think there'll be a turn up. I think Kim Bailey will have Imperial Aura ready. It's going to be his Gold Cup on Saturday, and that's how I see it.
Give it to me. Put Plutarch. You put up.
I wouldn't be surprised if the first two maybe are.
You have a thing for him, though. You've always had a thing for him.
Imperial Aura? No, I don't really like Imperial Aura, to be honest. I just think there'll be a turn up. And Royal Pagoi needs the ground soft.
Bombs. Coestes is where he needs to go.
I want Bristol De Mai to win. I'd love to see him.
I'd love to see him win, but I just don't think.
I think he's getting on a bit now, and yeah, I can't see him getting the 4 in a row or the 4. I don't think it's in a row.
Tom, where are you going?
I've toed and froed on this a lot actually. Plutarch, as Dave said, like we'd said this about him as well. That, you know, he's not as good first time out, and you know we should always take him on, always back him on his second run, ignore the first run. Find myself kind of agreeing with you, Andrew, that I think for 3 miles, 1.5 around Haydock, Henry's not going to send him there that undercooked. Henry's have turned a corner now; they've really hit form. And I think he'll go there fairly straight and fairly fit. Back again to the fact that he's only had 2 runs over 3 miles or further, and he's won Savills and then been second in the Gold Cup. So that untapped potential of the trip, I've been banging on about that for a long time. I actually think he could win this. Now, am I going to back him at 11 to 8, 6 4? Not open.
Yes.
No chance. No. I won't be having a bet in this. I'll be sitting back and watching. But I think he could go and win. Bristol De Mai. I know he comes back and does it every year, but he is getting older. I think if this was a slog, he would have probably preferred it. If it's going to be run on a bit better ground, I'm not sure if that would suit him. The other one, and this kills me to throw it in because this is Clifford. Waiting patiently has
See you later, lads.
Jesus Christ.
Seriously, like.
He's
Imperial Laura definitely has a better chance than he has.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know. He's moved trainers to Christian Williams. Christian Williams is actually in a bit of form now at the minute. He's gone
morphed into Andrew Blairwich. He always puts the horse up.
He's gone all right on his seasonal reappearances before. I'm not saying he'll win.
He hasn't won since 2018.
Yeah, he hasn't run much now, in fairness, and he's got some good place form. But if you were looking for a place only bet, I wouldn't put it past him to be placed in this.
They don't know what his best trip is. You know, that's the thing with him. They run him over 2, they run him over 2.5, they run him over 3. Guarantee he'll win the Grand National or something like that.
Well, maybe Christian's got the key to him now and knows his best trip. Who knows?
The Welsh air and the sheep.
Could be. He's got a form at Haydock. He's won at Haydock before, lads. So they'd be my 2 anyway.
Okay. Wow. Anyway. So what would you... Oh, you said that, the yoke.
Imperial Laura.
Jesus. And he said the other yoke. Mother of God. So next destination, the wins then.
Wouldn't surprise me either as well, him,
Watch feckin' Native River or Royal Pagai come out.
I think the actual track would suit next destination.
But if we just... Before we go off that, you look at the horses in this, there's going to be a fair pace on. If they all go the way they usually go. Bristol De Mai, Royal Pagai, Native River, all want to go from the front.
Chatham Street, lad. Who knows? Anything could win that now.
They all go for the front. And this is where Absolute targets a lovely toe into the race. Picks it up at the third last and off he goes. Second last, third last.
And if he does, he can do it at 6-4. He won't be carrying my money.
I do agree with you on that, Dave. Yeah, I wouldn't back him at the price.
What price would you back him at?
5-1.
Jesus Christ. 2s?
No.
3-1, I'd back him.
I reckon he'll drift on the day. You get at least 2-1, 9-4 on the day.
Yeah, someone will lay you 2-1, I imagine, somewhere. Hollywood bets.
I'm on it. Right. Off to Ascot and Chanel Pharma 1965 Chase. We have good old Dashel Drasher, Ascot specialist in a 3-1. Defi the slow at 4th. Lost in translation, has yet to find his form again at 9-2. Esperado Ramone at 6s. Master Tommy Kaboom at 6s. Itchy Feet at 13-1. That's not right.
13-2, probably.
Probably 13-2. Benny King 8s. Sapage 11s. Franco Deport 12s. Pistol Whip 16s. To Tiger Roll at 33-1. Tom, break it down for us. Break it down.
Please don't like unplug me or click off my link now. After putting up waiting patiently as one to be placed in the Betfair Chase, I'm going to throw in Defi de Soy here.
For fuck's sake! Like,
Jesus Christ!
What is married life has really fucked you up.
You need to get back on the wine. But...
Yeah, replace that wine. Replace that Ribena with wine. Jesus Christ, Defi de Soy.
Defi de Soy, right? Has gone well before when fresh. Was sent off.
Why?
Was sent off the 6-5 favourite at Cheltenham last year and ran no race. He only ran one more race then that season at Ascot. He's won at Ascot before. The main thing though is Philip Hobbs' stable were in desperate form last year. They are in red hot form now. 5 winners from the last 43 runners, but there's a whole heap of them being placed. As in, they're all running well. That's what really puts me on to Deffy to bounce back here. I thought you'd be all over him, Andrew. Back up to 2 mile 5. You were the one banging on there. He wasn't a 2 miler. They're going.
He's a 3 miler. I didn't say he was 2.5 miler. I said he's a 3 miler.
He's not a 3 miler.
How do we know? He hasn't run over 3 miles yet.
They're going back up to 2.5.
Said the same as Tyson John, not 3 mile. You end up winning fucking Gold Cups.
And the thing in this as well is I love Dashiell Drasher. Jeremy Scott isn't in great form on the flip side of things. And he has also got to give Deffy £6. At 4 to 1, I'd definitely take a chance on Deffy here.
Okay. Please shed some light on this.
Me?
No, the man behind you.
No, he hadn't a hope. God, no. Lost in translation, you were saying hasn't found his form. Thomas mentioned the Tizard horses are in better form this year, but some of them are still running absolutely atrocious. Some of them are running okay, some of them are running atrocious. Whereas, yeah, I do agree that most of the Hobbs horses are back in form now, and most of the Henderson horses, but the Tizard stable still worries me. But I would like to see Lost Translation on a better race and show what he.
I used to love him.
Show what he showed as a novice, and then when he won the race at Haydock. I imagine David Bass will be at Haydock in the Grade 1, so that cancels a Sparta out because I think that he wants Bass on him and going from the front, and as well it'll be a battle up front, and I'm sure Dashiell Drasher will win it, and I imagine he'll win the race.
Thank you. A bit of sanity back in the podcast. Wow. Sorry, Tom. Deffy's definitely going to win after all this watch. But I have the same vision as Dave. Dashiell Drasher, I think he's 4 from 4 at Ascot. Grade 1 winner, improved beyond recognition last year. Goes on the front, gallops him into the ground. Jeremy Scott's form, as Tom said, look, it wouldn't bother me really because when's he ever really in form? That's the thing I'd look at. This thing is a very, very, very good horse. Loves the track. I think he'd be hard to beat. I just Deffy De Mai, he's such a confusing horse. I think I backed him once in his whole life and I never backed him again. Master Tommy Tucker just can't jump. He'll jump well for 3/4 of the race and then he'll start hammering fences when he start up in the pace. Lost in translation. Jeez, I had high hopes of that fella. He just fell apart. Look, he could do what's the other fella's name? Put Fiddler on the Roof. Could do a Fiddler on the Roof and come back to form out of nowhere, but I can't see it happening if I'm honest. Look, realistically, it probably is between Dashiell Drasher and Deffy De Mai. But I think just Dashiell Drasher he's ahead of Deffy now. Deffy's after having too many bad runs for my liking. And I just really think he's 3 miler. Look, yes, he beat Undersow at Ascot when Undersow was on the way out. He beat Politlog. Then Politlog turned the form around, pulled up in the Slur last year, and then was 17 minutes behind first low. January last year, he's put away then after that. Must have been something up with him, or the Hobbs stable just didn't want to chance him. He needs to come on a hell of a lot again and show a little bit of his own spark. And I'll say it again, the thing I really, really think he's missing is Barry Geraghty. Barry Geraghty was the only man to ever get the best out of this horse. Richard Johnson couldn't even get the best out of him. So it'll probably be Aidan Coleman on him. Aidan Coleman's a top-class jockey. I just think Barry Geraghty was the only man for him. So with all that taken into consideration, I think Dashiell Drasher is a great bet for the weekend because it's not the strongest race in the world. So, yeah. And he has Master Tommy Tucker on form as well at Ascot and Benny's King and Itchy Feet. So, yeah, I think poor old Mark Griffiths, God bless him. I didn't hear that about him yet, but get well soon anyway.
Yeah, very much so.
Right. Moving on to another interesting race. The Ascot Hurdle, we have Buzz in 11 to 8, Goshen at 4, Stormy Earl in 6, Molly Ollie's Wishes 7 to 1, Song for Someone 7s, Guard Your Dreams at 10, If the Cap Fits 10, Tiquan at 12s, Navajo Pass at 16s, and Rockadine at 100. 2-1. Dave, you take this one. Good old Gonshin. Probably won't run because the ground, it looks like it's going to be a bit too fast for him. But if he does turn up, what chances would you give him against Buzz?
I don't know what. If he ran and the ground was soft enough, I think he'd win. I think he had a bit too much speed for Buzz. And if he doesn't win, I would be going with Stormy Ireland. Out in front and show him a clean pair of heels.
I have the exact same few as you. I had a chat with Jamie Moore this morning. He's
little name drop there.
No, I did. He's obviously sponsored by Hollywood Bets now. I was just chatting to him about him. We said, look, if the ground is right from he's run, he's in great form. He's A1 ready to go, but he won't run if the ground's not right. And he said himself, the ground is looking an issue at this stage. So taking Goshen out of it, because I presume he's not going to run with the ground because they don't want to put him on ground that he's not going to like. I totally agree with Dave with Stormy Ireland. Willie Mullins transformed our back to ourselves last year, winning a grade 1 at Punchestown. She had a pipe at Punchestown, beating Manila Melody, and she beat French Dynamite at Fairy House before that, who's gone into, he won a chase there last week at Punchestown, won it very well. So she has very, very good form. She'll go out in front. She's very, very hard horse to pass. Very tough mare. She gets weight off Buzz. Look, she gets a pound, but I think she could be very, very hard to catch out in front around here. Buzz, obviously the winner of the Cesaro, which a lot of people's horses for the stayers this year, still has to come out and prove it. Very good handicapper, but needs to take a next step up. And if he is to be a stayers horse, he needs to win this. What about you, Tom? Who do you think? Buzz the one to beat?
I'm surprised you're not backing your friend Buzz, Andy. I thought this would be the one for you here.
I didn't back Mrs. Harwich either, which kind of hurt me because I backed Burn of Victory.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm sold on being a graded horse.
I thought all you toys stuck together, no?
What?
I thought all you toys stuck together.
Oh, Buzz and Andy. Oh my god, that's the worst joke ever.
The fact that I had to go in again with it was terrible.
Oh, the fact that you had to explain it for me to cop on.
Yeah, because you've never backed that horse before.
I do. I used to back him in the handicaps. Oh, well played, Tom.
Thank you. Yeah, it's such a shame we're not going to see Goshen here because, again, I would really fancy him. And I actually, lads, it's going to be 3 of us for Stormy Island. I think she's got a good chance here. You know, some of her form, her back form is good behind Honeysuckle. She didn't run a bad race at Cheltenham. She's beaten Franco de Port. She's beaten Black Tears, who's won at Cheltenham. You know, and she bolted up in that mare's grade 1 at Punchestown. So at the prices at 6-1, I'd definitely be siding with her. I'd be keen to take on Buzz. It's just I'm just not a massive fan of him. He ran okay at Newbury in the Betfair Hurdle. That's probably not bad form, but it's handicap form. And then he stepped up into a grade 1 and he couldn't beat Abracadabras. And Miller's Bank was 2 1/4 lengths behind him. So that tells you all you need to know about that grade 1. So yeah, I'm keen to take him on. Molly Ollie's Wishes is a mare on the upgrade as well. Looks like she's going to run, but I'd imagine Stormy Island's a bit better than her. And then you're into Song for Someone, and Guard Your Dreams is a little bit interesting. Another one taking that step out of handicap company, but his form last year is pretty good. He was 6th in that Betfair Hurdle, just behind Buzz. 7th then at Cheltenham, and then 3rd behind My Drogo at Aintree in a grade 1. And that race at Cheltenham, he came out and beat Cool Cody by 2 lengths. Now, I know that was over hurdles, but Art Approval was also back in 4th. So if I was having a bet here, I'd back Stormy Island and Guard of Dreams against the field.
Do we think Buzz is just a lot of hype? He needs to step up big time to be a great one.
He'd need to win now the weekend.
He needs to win this handsomely to be considered a Stayers Hurdle contender.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because as of now, it's one hell of a lot of hype on a second behind Abracadabra Algazoom.
And winning on the flat,
And
which doesn't always translate very well.
5 3/4 lengths behind Soaring Glory. If Soaring Glory was in this, he wouldn't be favourite. Not So Sleepy beaten. He wouldn't be anywhere near favourite in this either. I really don't get the whole buzz.
Yeah, he wouldn't be for me anyway.
But look, could come out, prove us all wrong. That's what horse racing is about. But as of now, I don't get it. Right, second last race. The last race at Ascot, and then we're going to Ireland for one, is the Handicap Chase over 2 mile one. This is a quite a competitive race. We've where are we? Fumbola, Savola at 3-1. We have Before Midnight at 3, Sky Pirate at 4s, Monsieur Lecoq at 5s, Alamo Gold at 6s, Diego de Charmel at 11s, and 12s, Big RS. Tom, where are you going with this one?
I said when Before Midnight won at Cheltenham that I was probably going to take him on for the rest of the year, and I am. He's gone up £8 for that win, and while it was a good run, I just think that was his day, to be honest. Sam Thomas, I think, even said it like that was his Gold Cup. So keen to take him on. Sky Pirate always runs a good race, but is just becoming handicapped out of it now, I feel. I think he's open to a more progressive horse. I think the more progressive horse is the Venetia Williams horse, Funnable Sivola. Progressive last year, really, really progressive. Won on his seasonal reappearance of 112 and ended up the year rated 156, beaten 3 1/4 lengths by Shishkin. Now I know Shishkin won very well that day, but he beat Gumball out of sight as well. So he also absolutely hammered Monsignor Lecoq at Ascot. So that brings the Ascot form into it. He's also gone on better ground, and he's gone on soft ground. He's arguably better on better ground, I think. Venetia Williams is in a bit of fair form. Only a 6-year-old. And one of my better bets for the weekend.
What about you?
Yeah, it's a decent race. I would take on Before Midnight as well. A lot of these 2 milers, they kind of have a couple of wins. They go up the handicap and then they struggle then and they're hit and miss. I like Nick Gifford's horse, Belargus. He's double figure price. He fell in the Paddy Power last week when we were there. He was the faller early on.
Yeah.
His form is good when he doesn't fall. He's looked very well. A couple of wins. So I'll give him a shout each way. I take on the top of the market.
I'm looking at this the same way as Tom. Before Midnight, I'm going to take him on after his last run. Very good win, but as Tom said, Sam said it's more or less his Gold Cup, so you presume he was tuned to the minute to win that. I'm going to take Sky Pirate to turn the form around. Yeah, I take on board. Tom said he looks high enough in the handicap now, but he always runs a huge race. I think that when they started dropping him down to 2 miles last year, it was the making of him. He beat Enchukas at the festival. He was 14 lengths behind No Mankind at Warwick. He beat Alamomo Gold, Ibello, and he was 5th in the Paddy Power the run before that. Yeah, look, he's on a mark of 159, which is high. There's no two ways about it. But I think his run last time, there was enough encouragement to come from that run to think that he's going to come on for it again. He travelled into the race really well, and he finished like a tired horse. So I'm nearly fully sure that he's going to turn around that form. And I think 4-5-1, I think it's a great bet, especially John Joe O'Neill's horses still in flying form. Nick Schofield gets on great with this horse. But yeah, I think it's between Sky Pirate and Funnable Savola, whatever the hell his name is called.
Funnable Sivola.
But yeah, I think 4-5-1's a fair price on him, and I'll have a little bit of him. Now, last one we are going to touch on is on Sunday, the Tritown Handicap Chase over 3 miles. So we have Definite Plan at 8s, Far Class at 8s, Run Royal, Fred at 8s, Steffi Blue 10s, Lord Royal 11s, Champagne Platinum 12s, Cocoa Beach 12, Soldier at War 12, 10 10 12s, and 14 to 1 bigger the rest. Tom, these are kind of races you love, a bit of value in, as you say. Where's the value in this?
Jesus, I don't know about that. This is
one time I fucking give you the big up.
Yeah, no, this is really hard. Yeah, I went through loads of these. In fairness, I put a line through a fair few of them. The one I've actually landed on is obviously a Gordon Elliott horse, because this is the Gordon Elliott fan club race. How many in a row is he going for?
12, 10.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, the one I've landed on is Steffi Blue. Interesting runs last year. Kind of didn't really get the hang of things for a while, and then he went down to Wexford, beat opposites attract, and ran a nice race in a grade 3 then at Limerick. That leaves him on a mark of 136. He was competitive off marks of 139 in handicaps. So I think now that he's maybe got the hang of it, which his last 2 runs of last season showed, which were both over 3 miles on heavy ground, I think he could be very competitive off a mark of 136. Gordon's obviously in good form. That gives him a racing weight at the minute, any of 10 stone 10. I think he'll be very competitive off that.
David, what are you thinking?
I'm going for Noel Mead's horse, Schoolboy Hours, around 14, 16 to 1. He had some good place for him behind. He gave latest exhibition a scare in a beginner's chase. He's behind Asterion Forlange a couple of times. He was second in another one, 2 seconds. Yeah, he was 3.5 lengths behind Eclac de Rear. And he was one I thought would go to somewhere like the Kim Muir in Cheltenham, and he never got entered. He came back then for that big grade A handicap at Punchestown, that Asterion Forlange one. He ran pretty well in that, a couple of jumping errors, but I think he's a big pot in him. He definitely looks like a horse that will win a big handicap, and he's only carrying 10 stone 7, so not much weight in his back.
Yeah, not bad show.
He was second on my list, Dave. That's a good shout.
I'm going for Joseph O'Brien's Top Moon. He was 5th behind On the Ropes, who is being highly touted for the Ladbrokes Chase Hennessy at Newbury soon. He was 5 3/4 lengths behind him. That was his first run over 3 miles, and he stayed on well at the finish after being prominent. Kind of dropped away a bit, but he came on again at the finish. He's on a mark of 144, which I think he could be fairly competitive off that. If you go back far enough over his form over 2 miles, he was a neck behind a Wave of the Sea in a big handicap at Leopardstown at the Dublin Race Festival. Shunter was in behind him, and then Chukas was in behind him that day. So he has a bit of touch of class to him. He doesn't mind big field handicaps whatsoever. He's coming in here on the back of a very good run. I think they claim off him as well. Joseph's horses are in flying form still, so I think he will be up the pace. He'll be away from trouble, and I think there could be a big pot in him as well. But this is a minefield, to say the least. But I think he has a really good chance at, what is he, 11, 12 to 1. So Top of the Moon for me in the Trytown. Now, naps and next best for the week. Boys, who wants to go first after Tom decides to stop swallowing his laptop?
I kind of put up each way ones, but my nap would be the horse in the Handicap Hurdle at Haydock, Martinal, each way. And then I think Schoolboy Hours next best has a good chance in that Tritown Chase.
Very good. Tom, what about you?
My nap is going to be not that one, in this one. The horse's name, who we can't say, Funnable Cibola. I think he's got a cracking chance in that handicap chase at Ascot. And then my next best actually comes tomorrow. Now, I don't know what price this is or what it's going to be, but it should go out and win. Jesus, there he's short now. I think he's 5-4. A horse called Lake Chad won at Limerick yesterday, but absolutely bolted up. And I just think he's running under a £5 penalty at Furless tomorrow. Look, I didn't realise he was that short, to be honest. So it's not really too much for a betting proposition. But yeah, I keep an eye on him anyway. I think he'll go and win. And then my lay is going to be Buzz. I just think there's enough in that race to take him on with. Are we doing lay? Sorry, no, go on, fine, I'll show.
Jesus. New run of the show and he can't keep with it. Anyway, before we get to our lays, my nap is at Plutard in the Betfair Chase. My next best is Stony Mountain each way in the Stayers Handicap Hurdle at Haydock. Now you can go, Tom.
Thank you, Andrew.
No bother.
Yeah, I'm going to take on Buzz. I think he's about 6-4, something like that. And his jumping form isn't as good as his flat form for me. I think he's plenty of questions to answer. And I'm keen to take him off. There's enough in that race for me that you want to be taking him on at 6-4.
Dave?
Absolute Tom. He's too short.
Yeah.
I'm going to take on Defi Desai at 4-1. I just don't think he's the horse he is,
ever
will be. So I think Defi Desai at 4-1. I would lay that.
Can I just throw in, because I don't think we did it the other night, was eye catcher. Oh, we did do eye catcher, sorry. But I've got an eye catcher from today at Dundalk. A horse called Bradesco. He won the last at Dundalk tonight. He only won by a short head in the end. That was over 1.4 miles. That horse is going to go back up to 2 miles. He's rated 67 now. He's going to be rated about 70, I imagine. And he is not finished improving yet. He's an exciting enough horse, I think, Bradesco, overstaying trips on the flat.
Thought the Dundalk days were over. I held high hopes for this season.
My tooth is just hopping off me, and he's giving eye catchers from Dundalk.
It's always something up with you.
Could talk about
anyway. What?
I said we could talk about Cool Arcade now as well.
I didn't know if that was a touchy subject or not, so I didn't bring it up.
No, he ran well. He ran well. He was just a bit too fresh, really, which was kind of my concern before the race. And he decided to sprint over the first 3 hurdles and then go a good gallop. And, yeah, he was a bit excited. I think he's realised he's a racehorse, and he's very excited with life at the minute. But no, good run. Good to get the first run into him, and I'm sure he'll be winning soon anyway.
Any plans for him?
No, just look for another race in probably 2 or 3 weeks' time and go from there. But yeah,
any plans for Shauna?
Same thing, really. I think she should be out in the next 2 or 3 weeks anyway, and pick a race and see how we get on. Really, I think there's a few races for her over Christmas time. It's a bit tricky before that, from what I could see, to find the perfect race for her. But there's a couple of nice races for her over Christmas. So
send us to Leopardstown for the day out.
Exciting times ahead. There is one at Leopardstown, but we'll see. We'll see where Henry wants to go, but there's a few options over Christmas.
Lovely. Right. That is us done for now.
We're going to give a shout out because I haven't done it in ages. We've got shares available in Baron Wild. He's going to make his debut now in the next, again, 2 or 3 weeks. Exciting horse off a flat, buys off, and he really looks like a hurdler. 3-year-old juvenile. Won on the flat. Was placed on soft ground on the flat, and I like him. So if you're interested in the share, and he's pretty cheap, so give us a shout.
Tom's email will be, as always, in the description below if you want to get in contact with them. But for now, we are about to record our Cheltenham Festival Anti-Post video episode number 6. So until then, we will see you Sunday live at 8 o'clock for Talking Points, where we'll go over all the action of the weekend. So until then, have a good weekend, week/betting, and we'll see you on